Almost forgot to mute it. Aha! Alright. It looks like we're streaming. Hello, everyone. This is Chris Ingerson. It is January 5th, and this is the January 5th Text Quest dev stream. We're going to be continuing where we left off yesterday with more art progress on the sewer level. Since last stream, I have actually baked a new light map and done most of the UV layouts. I need some fine tuning because things aren't lining up quite right. You can see here that things are just slightly off height-wise. But aside from that, most of the level is in there now, which means I will be doing some fine-tune art stuff tonight, a little bit of UV mapping, nothing quite exacting because we're not going to have time and it would be very, very boring for you to just sit there and watch me go, okay, we just got to move this slightly up and slightly down. So we're not going to go that far, but we will do some the last couple of major bits of UV layouts, which is pretty much just this bottom area, and then we'll do some quick modeling for our door here and ladder, because as of right now they are just hard modeled into the scene, which is actually a terrible way of doing things. So I'm going to break them out into their own objects, then pull those in and set them up inside of Unity. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and play and show you what I have so far. And I've moved the spawn point up into the new main chamber, just so that we don't have to run across the entire stage to see it. I also don't have animation for our water yet. So things are looking pretty good. We have... basically everything is textured. We got our grate down here, which is the same thing as the grate up there, but it works pretty well. We don't have a collider on this, so we can actually just walk in front of it, or into it. And you can see that it's doing exactly what I thought it would do, which is it's very dark up inside the grate. So I was right to not worry about having to texture that properly up there. My only concern here is that I need to have light down here in the pit, in case players fall down there, since, I've introduced the light and dark mechanic in this level. Why does it seem like my mouse cursor is really sensitive? Sorry. It just seems like sometimes it gets super sensitive for some reason. Anyway, where was I? So we need to get some light scattered down in there, and we'll deal with that tonight, find a way to do it. You know what I bet it is it's, the editor is running as fast as it can, so it's probably like 300 some frame rate here. So it's just like super smooth. That throws me off. And we're going to fix stuff like that if you notice that wall texture is upside down. And we will... I think we're going to try two things. One, we're going to try making a substance of this water, and we're going to try animating it with substance. So we know how to do that. We've done that with the lava before. And I'm going to see which is more performant. Animating the texture in substance or manually scrolling the material with my own script. Because before, when I was scrolling this, it was just a script that I had wrote a long time ago to say, scroll this amount over this amount of time. So we'll take a look at which is more performant. If there's not much of a performance difference, I might as well just stick with substance for it, because that way it's more interesting for people. In any case, got all it cracked here, which I immediately regretted doing because now our pipes have breaks in them, which kind of frustrates me, but we'll see if I can fix that a little bit later. Because like I said, that's mostly fine-tuning. Although to fix that, I would actually have to come through and manually slice horizontally along this entire level, basically. So 2 extra slices just for the pipe. That way the pipe wouldn't have this break. And I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, because that's a lot of extra work, and I've already re-UV'd this thing like 5 times. I'm tired of re-UVing. But that's what happens when you change art styles. Anyway. Probably shouldn't have been talking that entire time over the water. So our light map looks pretty good. I'm pretty satisfied with it. I did have to change a couple of things. The light maps in... You know what? I'm just going to not play it all. The light maps in Unity 5.3 are a lot lighter than in earlier versions of Unity, so I actually had to dim the lights in this scene quite a bit just to make this internal area darker. Because if I didn't, then you would start seeing, and actually you might still be able to see. Up. So you can sort of see that we're getting some bleeding here, where it's really, really light along this edge, which I think is coming from the light on the other side of the wall. I'm not sure why it's getting cast in there, but that's my guess. It could also be a light mapping issue. I'll have to take a look at that. Hello, Astley Drunk. Welcome to the TextQuest Dev Stream. Currently, we are working on one of the levels, particularly the model and textures for it. What else do I need to update you guys on? The sewer grate is just the grate texture that we generated for the top. Zoom out and look up here. For the top grate up here. Turned out pretty well. UVing was kind of awkward for it because not all of the words are facing the exact same way. Ah, a sly drunk. Okay. Sorry. I tend to read words like all together. A sly drunk. Okay. I will make sure to pronounce it the correct way from now on. Where was I? Bah. Got kind of thrown off by that. I hope I'm not the only one who made that mistake, but chances are I probably am. So everything's looking pretty good. Actually, I don't know if I've turned this guy up to its. Oh, good. It's still 512. That looks pretty good for 512. I think it's because it's supposed to be rusty, so the 512 low res makes it look pretty nice, actually. Let's see what it looks like at 1024 by 1024. Apply. It's not really that different. I think I'm going to keep it at 512 just for performance reasons. Let's see, what else do we have? So TextQuest is a first-person text-based adventure, and everything in the world is literally made up of text that represents it. So you can see here we have stone floor. We have a sewer wall with a pipe going through it. We have water. That's a bad thing over there. We have water. We have lights. And if you get really close to the lights, you can actually see that there's side and glass around it. And it is a adventure game, a text-based adventure. So you can interact with everything. Well, not everything, but you can interact with most things. So you can say like slap door with fish, or eat apple, and then the idea is that you want to explore the game world while interacting with all of these items and these objects and trying to figure out how to solve puzzles. Okay, so then I'm going to go back to Maya, and then we'll get started on actually modeling everything, or fixing some of the light maps, or not the light maps, fixing some of the UV maps real quick. Again, none of the small tweaks, but some of the larger ones, like we're going to finish laying this centerpiece out and fix some minor bugs. That is correct. Text-based is usually just straight text, and that's kind of where the concept comes from. So if we look at, say, Zork images, so this is what most people think of when they say text-based. It's literally text. But that's why I thought it would make it interesting aesthetic, because everything is text. So it's kind of like a play on words. I don't know if it's a visual pun. It might be a visual pun even, because it's literally text-based, since everything is text. But actually, I might be able to. This is a bad level to show it in because there's nothing really to interact with here. But should be a key for me to go get. So I can run through here, and we can interact with things. And this one, I forgot to reset its information. But I should still be able to say... Okay, so it's still got some of its stuff. So you can see that it's sort of playing to conventions of text-based adventures. So you still have all the interactivity. You have all of the parser-based stuff. So I could say like key, and it would tell me like, oh, I don't think that Iron Key would agree with you. Or I could say like Lemon Key. He smells somewhat foul. What else can I do? I think I could try Burn Key, but I don't think it'll let me because I don't have anything to burn it with. But yeah, that's the concept. Is that it is a 3D. It's a first-person text-based adventure. That's what I like to call it. That is super loud. I feel like I need to tone that water sound down because otherwise it's kind of loud. But thank you. I'm glad that you like the concept. So let's go ahead and go back to Maya. And right before the dev stream, I was setting up some of the UV stuff, which is why I was like 1 or 2 minutes late to start. There is a GRU. Have you played the original Zork game? I might be able to actually... What is a GRU? Ah, dang it. I feel like my dictionary's busted right now. There's no verb. Because what is a GRU used to work. But I feel like I broke my parser at some point. I need to fix that. Yeah, you can actually... so a GRU is a vicious beast with sharp fangs and a taste for adventurers. And whenever you go into a dark area with no light source, a GRU will eat you. And that's where Zork basically used them to hinder progress until you got a lamp. And that's sort of what we're doing in this game too. So if you go into a dark area, let me show you. If you go into a dark area without a light source, then it'll warn you first. Say it's dark, you are likely to be eaten by a GRU. Then if you continue on, you actually get eaten by a GRU. So for the first part of the game, you don't have a light source, which means that you have to avoid dark areas like that. And then later on in the game, once you actually get your light source, you'll have to learn how to use it properly. When you go into the dark, you need to make sure that you have a light source and that you have it equipped and well lit. And some puzzles later on might involve using having to juggle lighting things and not having your light source in a dark area. So it's a nice mechanic. I really like it. But that is what a GRU is. So let's go back to Maya. So I've already laid out the UVs for this stuff. So you can see that it all matches up. And I'm not... So for some reason, this is kind of a downside to OBS. There is some really annoying bug where dragging windows on my main monitor, which is the desktop being recorded by OBS, it causes lag. So I'm not going to be dragging stuff around. I set everything up ahead of time. But so I'm just going to do some quick UV scaling off on the other monitor that you guys can't see. So I apologize for that because I like to try and keep you guys, keep everything in front of you guys. But it'll be a lot faster if I don't do that this time. And it won't take long because everything's already positioned. You can see that everything's lined up, which means that all I have to do is scale it, and then it'll be fine. But a Sly Drunk, if you're curious, actually, you can play the demo for the game on, well, not on the website. You can download it from the website. I really should make a web build. I don't know if I can, actually, because I use substances, so I might not be able to. Well, anyway. So if you're curious, you can actually play the demo. Do I have a decent game out? You mean like have I released a game? Personally? No, I have not. This would be my first game that I have released. I've worked on a lot of games, but most of them fell through, which isn't exactly unusual considering a lot of them were either my first game or. Okay, I hope that that's the right size. It might be too small. We'll see. Hang's head. Yeah, that's me hanging my head in shame, definitely. I really wish that I had more stuff out there, but I don't. But you do, but yeah, I mean, I do the best I can. I'm only human. So let's go back to scaling. Let's turn off discrete scale because that won't quite work here. Okay. Let's move you to about there. And I think that's pretty close. It's really hard to tell because we're kind of like eyeballing it, but it looks about accurate, so they're about the same. Ah, freaking shading makes one wall black and one wall lit. Of course it does. Let's see. I think that looks pretty close. If they're not exactly on, they're really close. So we'll have to look at that in Unity. This is almost my kind of game, minus screws and add RPG elements. Ha! I learned my lesson about RPG elements a long time ago. I'm sorry, I will not be adding those. Ah, I learned that lesson the hard way. RPG stuff it can be nice, but oh dear God, it is incredibly complicated. It is very easy to overscope with RPG stuff. So, while I would like to do so, I'm afraid that I cannot. What kind of games do you normally play? I'm going to be scoping this up real quick. Also, I need to remember to not shout into my microphone because I don't have a noise gate, so that probably blows out people's headsets. Oh, you're getting into game design? This is why I don't like doing stuff off the side because it looks like I'm doing nothing on my main screen, but I'm actually doing a lot of stuff on the left. Um, we'll tank the lag. Okay. It's terrible. There we go. Sorry. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing. And now it makes it super hard for me to see anything. Oh, I don't need to do it here because I already did that. Right. Hooray! So this is what the UV map looks like now. There's its light map. Go back to our regular light map. Okay, so I'm going to drag this back off to the left because that was pointless since I already did everything. So now our UVs look nice here. Hooray. I've already adjusted the UVs for this. However, you can see that it's not quite. You know what? We're not going to mess with that because that's finagling stuff. That's stuff I'm going to have to fine tune later on. So I'm not going to worry about that. Open world, RPG, fighters, adventure, FPS and casual. Okay, so pretty much all over the place. That's kind of like me. Pretty much play everything except for sports games and racing games. Not a big RTS fan either, but I have played them. Are you currently working on a project of your own right now, or are you just sort of studying up and learning tool sets? Curious, actually. Let me check out. Okay, good. Okay. Oh, man. Right. Right. Love strategy. See, I'm the type of guy I don't like having indirect control. Indirect control kills me. Um, so I don't like telling all of my units to go here and then I have to wait for them to fight. I really prefer charging in myself and doing it. That's why in JRPGs I tend to play the meathead character that doesn't have any magic spells because I'm not patient enough to do magic spells normally. Just run in. Although that is kind of weird considering I love stealth games, which is all about patience and learning patterns. But okay, so that's. I think I. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Come on. Oh no. Oh, okay. I thought you were upside down. I guess you're not. Ah, there you go. I knew one of the faces over here was upside down. All right. Let's just rotate you. And are you lined up? You're lined up close enough. That's fine for me. All right. Study for college. Ah, okay. So wait, are you in college doing game design, or are you studying ahead of time for it? I guess, depending on. Either way. Let's see. So all that's lined up. I think we're going to export this, bring it into Unity, and see what it looks like. All right. So let's select this. Go to Edit, Delete History, as always. Hit Save, and then File, Export Selection, Castle Sewers. Yes. I know. Got the ding and everything. Gotta find. Okay, there's our scenes. There's that. Let's go to Castle Sewers.fbx. Replace file. I like more or less broad scope strategy, like unit by unit versus. Okay. Yeah. All right. So this, aha, it's in there now. So this is with the new texture mapping. Everything looks pretty nice. I like it. I like it. Let's see. I almost want to raise everything just a little bit. But that might be something that's going to be fine tuning. I'm not going to do that tonight. So let's go ahead and pop into Unity and see what that looks like. I really need to have it so it turns off my mouse cursor at start. It turns off the mouse cursor at the start of the game, but if you just start in the scene itself, it doesn't for some reason. Not sure why. Okay, so everything looks pretty good. Can't really see the edge there, which is fine. I think adding these outcroppings was a very, very good idea. Just because it makes it very, very dark in that corridor now. Back here. Looks good from here. The pipes look like they're roughly the same height. I can't really tell if one's lower or higher than the other, so that's good. Well, look at you, being proactive. Oh, that's the way to learn. And honestly, most of the time, if you're learning to become a game designer, college is not gonna prep you very well for it, unless you're attending a college that's specifically for it, like DigiPen or something like that. But most of the time, your learning is going to come from A, rolling your head across the keyboard, or B, getting an internship and working from that. You will learn a lot more doing those two things than you will in class. Okay, so that all seems correct. So we still need to do a substance for our water and a substance for our waterfall, which is going to have a different one. And we need to do the UV layouts on this guy, right? Let's go back here. Wait, huh? What does wait, huh mean? That could mean anything. Let's go to object mode, actually. I'm going to hide this guy. Do I have a grate layer? Aha, I do. Can I toggle it? Oh, I haven't added this yet. Add selected objects, toggle it. Aha, much easier. Okay, so we got to do the UV map for this guy real quick. It won't take too long. If I can get it correct. Oh, I could toggle the wall. That would probably help a lot. Alrighty then. So I'm going to slide this over here. Then slide the UV editor. Which, interesting, it seems like the lag is only when my mouse is on screen. Alright, so UV sets, I only have the one so far, that's good. We're not going to worry about doing edge creasing here, because this is a sort of easier place. I'm not going to be too worried about it. People aren't going to notice that detail there. $10 says I come back about 6 months from now. I'm like, no, we're going to put that in, make it look better. Anyway, so first off, copy these faces, new UV set, polygons, do a layout. That's our light map. And next, rotate all of these guys, make sure that they are, come on, look at me here. Okay, that's good. All right, slide this way. Slide this way. Good. Oops, not UVs. Go to face. And now we get to do the fun thing of stretching these faces. So until I find a better way to do automatic projection, which I really need to do, this is sort of my short-term solution. Because I talked about it a little bit yesterday. When I do an automatic projection, any face that's not one of the 4 cardinal directions, you're going to get some distortion. So these angles, which are these shorter sides, even though they're as long as the centerpiece, they are compressed. Their UVs are compressed because of the distortion effect. So I'm actually going to end up stretching them manually to make them look proper. So let's go over here. Go down. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the edge here. Or not the edge, I'm going to grab my UVs. And then just say, bam, slam to the left. Alright, and now we're going to just do the same thing over here. So we'll line this up. Let's line it up close as we can get. Alright, go to UVs. Get those guys. Slam to the right. Perfect. So now you can see that we don't have any distortion on these guys. They actually look proper. Hello, ATEC. Welcome back. Doing some more stuff on the sewer level tonight. Some quick UV mapping, and we will move on to some substance stuff in a little bit. And of course they don't match up, because why would they? My life can never be that nice. So I'm just going to try to do this. There we go. Move over here, and bam. Perfect. So now we don't have any distortion. So you can see that it's white. I have actually no idea if that's if that's good or not. I haven't really messed with the UV distortion or not. All I know is that white seems to be very little distortion, if any at all. Oh, my cat wants attention. She knows I'm streaming. Let's see. Alright, so we want to put this guy on the left here. So this guy's going to go over here. We're just going to try to line these up vertically. Yes, I see you, cat. Oh, okay. She's just going to climb up on my back there. Let's see. Are you saying that you did hear what I was saying before, or are you saying that you didn't hear it? I assume that you're saying you did hear it. But it's always safe to check. Typos and whatnot. I know I make them a lot. Alright. Last bit of lining up to do. Let's go ahead and grab this guy. And then we will move this up here. Ah, you didn't. Okay. I forget what the last thing I was saying was. I think I was saying chances are when you go to college, the college itself isn't going to be a huge boon to your skill set as a developer, unless you go to a college specifically for game development like DigiPen, which is over in Washington. They're probably the best known for it that I can think of. So you'll gain a lot more experience by just messing with game development yourself and trying to get an internship, if you can get one. Cat, it is incredibly hard to work with you sitting there. All right, so did I already? Okay, good. I already did the layout for it. Okay. Oh, you're in the Seattle area. Lucky you. I am in the Midwest, so. I think DigiPen should be around the Seattle area. At least I thought it was. Makes sense. Okay, so we're going to line these guys up. Grab all of these faces, and then we're just going to scale them up. Go ahead and scale them up to yay big. I think that works pretty well. Ta-da. And just like that. Yep, I was right. It's not very laggy if the mouse is not the thing. If the mouse is not on this screen. It's only when the mouse is dragging on the screen that it gets laggy for some reason. Don't know why. I guess OBS does have some flaws after all. Anyway, so I'm not going to fine-tune, tweak. I could already see that there's some slight... Actually, that one was pretty good. And so is that one. There it is. I was going to say, I saw one of them. Some slight height differences. But that's tweaking. I'm not going to worry about that. So we should basically have most of our stuff taken care of. And actually, before we go on to Substance, I'm going to go ahead and model out the door and the ladder here. Because right now they are just part of this same scene, and that's not a good thing. We actually want them to be their own thing. It's in Redmond? Okay. Well, that's close to Seattle. Sorry. I have a cat on my back, and she does not need to be up there right now. Okay. Take a drink. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much what ATEC is saying there. Um, yeah, yeah. It's kind of a crapshoot, mostly because the main advantage to going to a school that's known for doing game development is that they will get you those internships and those development opportunities, and they tend to have ties with like AAA game companies that can come in and look at your work. So they actually know a good sort of process. But most of the time, you're not there. It's not very easy to learn game development as part of college. I guess would be the best way to say that. Most of the time, the college is just not equipped for it. So you're gonna have to sort of lead the charge yourself and teach yourself all of that stuff. Um, and even computer science, they tend to. Well, maybe it's not the same everywhere, but at the college I go to, the computer science department is just all they care about is databases. They couldn't care about anything related to game development at all. They do not know how to do game development. They don't understand the concept of programming for games. They just want to teach you Java and Scheme. Scheme. Um, how though? Are you asking how to sort of get into game development, like teach yourself? Let's see what do I want to do here. Everyone's very thick. Don't feel bad about that. And to be fair, when you're first learning something, the worst thing, the worst feeling when you're learning things is you feel like you're not making a lot of progress, and that's just because it takes a long time to actually start making progress. And you'll look back and realize that when you first started out, you were crap, and what you're doing now is way better. But it's a very, very gradual change, and you almost never realize at the time that you are actually picking up skill sets. So my recommendation for learning is to just download one of the engines. So something like Construct or I think Game Maker would probably be fine. Don't do Game Salad though. That's ugh. um, Unity. Unity is what I use for this game. There's Unreal 4, which I would not do Unreal 4 if you're just starting out because it's like all of the easier engines on steroids and it's incredibly complicated. Incredibly cool, but incredibly complicated. And then just sort of look up tutorials, follow along, see what you can do. Because really, an engine is just all of the game development stuff, engines, art programs like Maya and 3ds Max, they're all just tools for you. So it all just matters, or it all just depends on what you do yourself, basically. Okay, right. So give me a second here. Of course, I got like 5 things open. Measurements. Pull this back up. I'm going to take measurements on our door here. Yeah, that's true. Well, it can be, I suppose. And I suppose I started with Flash. Unity isn't full of viruses. I don't think I've ever gotten a virus from Unity. I don't even know if it would be possible to do that, considering uh, how strict they are on their launcher. So no, no, Unity is yeah. I have never had problems with viruses in Unity. So let's see. Let's see. Door. So we're looking at face of 3x. Oh, geez. And what else? 2. So that's 1 by 5. 1 by 2. By, I'm guessing 0.25. So, oh joy. 43.15 versus 43.35. Yeah, 0.25. No, that's 0.2. Okay. 0.2. And all I'm doing is just taking notes on the shapes. That way I don't have to keep popping back into the scene to look at them. So we'll drag this back over here. But yeah, that is not true. Unity is not a. There's no viruses with Unity. Construct, I think, is a pretty good tool for learning for beginners. Admittedly, I have only used it slightly because I started using Flash based off of a games programming course I took in college. And from there, I made the jump to Unity because of a strong push for Unity in the game development group I was in. And from there, I see 3.25. Sorry, let me do this real quick. 3.25 and 0. Okay. 3.25. So I basically went straight from Flash into Unity, and that's because ActionScript is JavaScript based. So 1.75, so it's 0.5. So it wasn't that hard to go into JavaScript, but there is a bit of a learning curve. So ATech was probably right saying that you don't want to start with Unity if it's your first time practicing. Crap, what was that? 39.9. Okay, so really 0.1. Okay. By 0.1. Okay, so I've got the two shapes that I need, and now I'm just going to go ahead and do a new scene for them. So let's do, oh, and actually let me count the rungs on the ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So we'll save this out. We'll go ahead and do a new scene, and then we'll start. So yeah, I've heard Construct 2 is a good thing to use. So I would look that up first, a slide drunk. It's from what I've heard and from my understanding, it's a pretty good tool to start off with. So let's go ahead and do cube. So there's our first cube. Let's see. Sorry, I have my work has a thing on Slack, and I'm getting pings from that, so I need to make sure that things aren't on fire. I just got a Twitter notification too saying I have 25 followers. Woo! Sorry, most of those are bots anyway. Okay, so things aren't on fire at the company I work at, so that's good. So let me adjust this. Try to keep this so that I don't have to keep moving things around. And our dimensions are 1 by 2 by 0.2. So we're looking at a width of 1, height of 2, and a depth of 0.2. There's our door. Nice. Alright. Let's not go to the castle. Let's go to... Oh, I'm sorry, no, it is castle. That's correct. Ooh. No. Intro. Castle. No, I guess it is. Oh, right, because it's... Sorry, I was looking at FBX. For FBX, I'm like, why is it so short? So this should be sewer door. Save as. Okay. I find that when people start out in Unity with no background programming in 3D art, there's nothing for them to relate to in it. It's overwhelming. It's programming like changing position, so adult time you say move back. Yeah, that's true. I think that is absolutely correct, ATAC. And that is a sexy door. Let me tell you. You know what? I think it's so perfect. I might just put it in the game as is. If only game development were that easy. Although, actually, a game where everything is textureless might... Hell, that probably already exists, considering that's how things used to be done before texture mapping existed. Anyway, so we're going to do some quick animation. So we have animation. First frame is just it being closed. Second frame will actually start our animation. Let's do rotation. Nope, you know what? Before we do that, let's go ahead and insert. We're going to snap our... Oh, right, I think I can just click. Ha! Oh, dang it. Actually warps its... There we go. Okay, there we go. Insert. Alright, now let's rotate. Snap it to 90. Actually, I like to do 45-degree snaps. That way I know I'm not overshooting it or snapping in the wrong direction. Also, that was the wrong... No, that's the correct pivot. It would pivot on that. Alright, let's hit S there. Let's bump this up to 60. This out. We'll go back to 31. Hit S again so that we have our open one. We'll go back. Oh, what the heck? Hit S. Let's go back to 60. There we go. So there's our open and close animation. All right. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Object mode. So I'm going to go right click, assign exist. Ah, of course, it's a different scene. And actually, you know what? I have to make that the door texture a substance. So, okay, so for now, the door is modeled, but it's not textured. I'm just going to call this sewer door. And then we'll go ahead and say, you know what, we'll just keep everything for now, because it's not like I've done a lot of edits on it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go new. So this is going to be our ladder. And our ladder is also going to be a cube. And let's see, so its dimensions are 0.5 by 3.25 by 0.1. There's our ladder. Call this sewer ladder. All right. So now we actually need to do subdivisions width, and we're looking at, so currently it's 1, we're going to need 2, 3, correct? Yep. And then subdivision's height will be, we had 10 rungs before, so I think we're going to have, let me think. So it's 1, 2, 3. I want to say 10, we had 9 rungs before, I'm sorry. So I want to say 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's double that. 18. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 19. We need 19 because there were, the bottom rung was not on the ground. So we have, stepwise, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. All right. Now, even though we have that, our question becomes, how do we, or what were the actual dimensions? So I'm going to have to poke back into the original scene. Say recent files, Castle Sewers. All right. So let's go to face. 1.35. Ooh, hold on. Really? Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's correct. Let me try this again. I was thinking the wrong thing. 1.25. 1.35, so it's 0.1. Recent files, sewer ladder, don't save, no point. Face here. And what are you at? So that means that this edge is going to be at negative 0.15. This is probably going to be at positive 0.15. Looking good, looking good. All right. And now the trick is going to be, go back to the old one. We got to see how far down things are going. Okay, things are on fire. Give me a quick minute. I need to make sure that my actual job does not burn to the ground. Okay. Great. Okay. Let's see. Probably not going to be able to juggle both of these, unfortunately. So I suppose I need to be responsible. We're gonna temporarily suspend the dev stream for right now, because I need to fix some things at the place where I work. We're having trouble with a build right now, and I need to make sure that we can make a build. So once I finish with that, hopefully that won't take too long. I'll be back up. So keep your eyes peeled. We should resume streaming, hopefully in like less than half an hour. But I would like to make sure that, my actual job keeps paying out. So we're going to temporarily suspend things, and I'll be back on in a little bit, hopefully. So stay tuned, I suppose. And yeah, if things get too hectic at work, I'll send out a tweet saying like I'm not going to be back on. So keep an eye on that. But thank you all for tuning into the first part, hopefully, for tonight of TextQuest.